All right, let's jump right into a classic story that's absolutely packed with mystery, adventure, and some serious courage. We're going to break down how three totally ordinary kids became heroes, and it's all thanks to a railway line.
So, just imagine for a second, what if you had the perfect life? You know, a great family, a really nice home, everything's going great. And then, overnight, it's all just snatched away. Well, that is exactly where our story kicks off for our three main characters, Roberta, Peter, and Phyllis.
So yeah, before their whole world got flipped upside down, and long before they were ever called the Railway Children, Roberta, Peter, and Phyllis were just, well, they were just kids. And their life, it was about as perfect as you can get.
You know that old saying, you don't know what you've got till it's gone? Well, this quote just nails that feeling. I mean, these kids lived in this beautiful house in London. Their dad was, in their own words, just perfect. And their mom wrote stories and actually played with them. Seriously, they had everything.
But then comes the night that just shatters everything. Two strange men show up, really late. There are these quiet, serious voices coming from the library, and then, just like that, their father is gone. Their mom, she tries to explain it away, saying he's been called away on business, but you can see it on her face. She's pale, her eyes are wide. The kids know. They know something is seriously, terribly wrong.
And the fallout is immediate, and it's devastating. Their comfortable life? Poof, it's gone. Their mother has to tell them they're going to play at being poor for a bit, which is just this heartbreaking way of putting it. They have to leave their fancy London home for this tiny little cottage in the countryside called Three Chimneys. I mean, their entire world has been completely turned on its head.
So in this brand new, totally upside-down world, there's one thing that becomes the absolute center of everything for them, and that's the railway.
You see, the railway isn't just a bunch of tracks and trains to them. It becomes their clock. It's their main source of entertainment, and most importantly, it's their one connection to the dad they miss so much. They even name the trains. The 9:15 in the morning is the Green Dragon. And every single day, without fail, they run down to the fence to wave as it goes by, kind of sending their love on the train to their father in London. And then one day, something amazing happens. A kind-looking old gentleman on the train starts waving back. And just like that, this silent, mysterious friendship begins. But here's the amazing part. Instead of just feeling sorry for themselves or being defeated by all this, the kids adapt. They start finding adventure everywhere. And when they need to, they find this incredible courage they never even knew they had. They basically become heroes, first in little ways, and then, believe me, in some very, very big ways.
Okay, let's take Peter, for example. The house is freezing cold, and their mom has to tell them they can't afford any more coal for the fire. So what does Peter do? He decides to go coal mining. Basically, he sneaks over to the station and starts taking coal from this giant pile they have there. And yeah, of course he gets caught. But when he explains why he did it, just to keep his family warm, the station master is so moved by his honesty that he lets him go. It's this amazing moment of kindness.
But that was just the beginning. Their biggest moment of heroism? It's still on its way. One day, they're out playing, and they see it. A huge landslide has completely buried the tracks right around a blind corner, and the 11:29 train is due any minute. There's no time to run back to the station. They have to do something right now. So what do? In this flash of genius, they tear up the girls' red flannel petticoats, tie the scraps to sticks to make these makeshift red flags, and they stand right on the track, waving like crazy. And unbelievably, it works. They stop the train. They literally save every single person on board from a terrible disaster.
Okay, so this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. Up until now, a lot of their adventures have been them reacting to bad situations. But now, a simple act of kindness, of just pure compassion, is about to unravel the entire mystery of what happened to their father.
So they're at the station one day, and they see this man. He's just wandering around, clearly lost and really distressed. And he's speaking a language nobody can understand. It turns out he's a Russian exile, a writer who escaped from a prison in Siberia. And now he's lost everything. His ticket, his money, he's sick, he's alone. And the kids, they don't even hesitate. They run to their mother and convince her to bring him back to their little cottage and take care of him.
And this one single act of kindness sets off this incredible chain reaction. It's like dominoes falling. First, helping the Russian writer means they have to ask their friend on the train, the old gentleman, for more help. This makes their friendship even stronger. So strong, in fact, that Bobby finally feels brave enough to tell him the awful secret she's found out. Her father wasn't just away on business. He was wrongly arrested and put in prison for being a spy. And get this, the old gentleman, who turns out to be a super important director for the whole railway, he believes her. He starts his own investigation, he finds the person who really did it, and he proves their father is completely innocent.
So all of this, all their courage and kindness, it leads to one of the most famous, most emotional endings in all of children's literature. And it really gets to the heart of why this story still hits so hard, even today.
Okay, so picture the scene. It all comes together, right back where it started, at the station. Bobby's there one day just watching the trains, and as the 1154 pulls in, a familiar shape gets off. The smoke clears, and it's him. It's her father. He's free. That moment, her shout of, "Oh, my daddy," as she runs into his arms, it's just everything. It's the reunion they have been hoping and praying for all this time. The family is finally back together.
So what's the big takeaway here? Why does a story that's over 100 years old still matter so much, especially when you're growing up and things get tough? Well, first off, it's a huge lesson in resilience, right? These kids get their world torn apart, but they find strength and even have fun. It also shows us that kindness isn't just some fluffy, nice-to-have thing. It's a powerful force that can literally change the world. And it proves that you don't have to be a grown-up to have the courage to step up and make a massive difference. But maybe most of all, it's a story about never, ever giving up hope and always believing that justice can win in the end, even when it looks impossible.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about, right? Let's be real. The children broke a lot of rules. They trespassed on the railway line, Peter stole or mined coal, they stopped a train, which is a huge deal. But they did all of it for the right reasons. To save lives, to keep their family from freezing, to help a stranger in need. So it really makes you think, doesn't it? When is it actually okay, when is it right, to break the rules to do the right thing?